Show them how you get up in your bag. Show them that swag. What you see is what you get. When I look in the mirror, I'm looking like a man. Like we playing tag bad, I'm the top pick. Show them what you're working with. Break the circuit, be a hit. Go ahead and make them sit. If you gotta hate it, then your purpose is equipped. Tell them catch you later, cause you serving up some grits. Meaning hot with the drip when I drop in the mix. The proof is in the pudding. Show them how you do it. They do it like they shouldn't. You don't need to brag, cause your competition couldn't. You don't need to boast, cause the proof is in the pudding. Show them that swag. Show them that swag. Show them that swag. Show them that swag. Show them what you got. Show them how you get up in your bag. Show them that swag.
So welcome everybody. We're going to chat about commencements because it's that time of year. I mean, from the looks of it, most of you don't know us, so let's start with some introductions. My name is Justin. Been with PhotoDay for about 2.5 years now. Before I started at PhotoDay, I actually worked at a large studio, and I had my intro into PhotoDay doing graduations. So I really got a good feel for how the system worked before I actually worked here. And then it's actually funny, I started using PhotoDay during COVID. So it was like the ultimate test for Face Find, and it was pretty amazing. But I loved how the culture was, and I saw that the PhotoDay team was always having more fun than I was. So I wanted to work here instead of a studio. And I'll pass it over to you.
My name's Austin. I also have been in volume since I turned 16. I used to work for a big volume studio too. But now me and Justin, we are studio activation and growth managers. So our team's dedicated to working with new studios for their first year on PhotoDay, just getting them set up for success. This is going to be an interactive call. I really don't like just talking into the abyss. So we're going to ask some questions along the way, and you'll see some polls pop up, and feel free to message us in the chat if you have any specific questions. If you look up at the top, it says Q&A. Just post them in there so we can see them. But let's get started.
We should probably mention that this is our first time running a webinar, and we're realizing that the background noise might pick up quite a bit. And so if my dog's snoring, might hear a siren here or two, like, just go with it. We also didn't plan our outfits.
Yeah, we didn't, but here we are.
I love it. I love it. Okay, let's get started.
Well, it's commencement time. Happy May, everyone. Happy Cinco de Mayo. Schools are wrapping up and seniors are ready to walk on stage. That means that it is game time for us photographers. Commencements, they could be a huge opportunity. And honestly, when they're done right, they're some of the most smoothest events you'll ever shoot for the year. I have a quick question for you though. So our first poll, it's going to pop up on the screen here. How many commencements are you photographing this season? Are you just starting out? Too many to count? I guess we didn't put very many options in there. It just went from 5 to too many.
I mean, too many is pretty quick because they're a lot of work and are long days, especially if you're doing like schools around here. We would photograph like 500 people and it would be forever.
Nice. It looks like it's a pretty good split of.
We have a good range.
Yeah. So whether you're just starting out or you've done this a couple times, I hope you leave here feeling confident. You get a little bit of information you maybe didn't have before. So today we're just going to talk about the ideal workflow for PhotoDay for commencements, including what you should do before, during, and after the job, as well as some top tips. Justin, do you want to go into the checklist?
Let's do it. So I love a good checklist. Not everybody loves a checklist, but I do. It's how I stay organized. But especially with graduation season, you want to start these pretty soon. I mean, because there's a lot of planning that goes into it to make sure that you're communicating properly. You know what you're doing before the event day actually happens. So I mean, we start at about 8 weeks out on this checklist. That's kind of just a rough estimate there. You definitely don't have to be 8 weeks out. You can bump it up if you want to, but you can definitely customize this kind of according to what your workflow is. But definitely start thinking about things as soon as you know that you're going to be photographing something. About 8 weeks out, you want to start maybe create your job so that you can lock in your access code. That's going to allow you to start creating marketing materials as soon as possible. And then also super important, schools start planning their printed programs. So you want to make sure that you have enough time to try and communicate with them and see if you can actually get on a page or maybe even the back of it for that printed program. So you just don't want to miss that opportunity. So definitely start communicating with your school early. The 4-week mark, this is when you're going to start thinking about communicating. How are you going to do it? You want to create your marketing materials, whether that's just digital, if you're doing physical items, maybe you're doing both. But you can go ahead and start making those. As soon as you create your job and you have your access code locked in, you can definitely start making those materials as soon as possible. The 3 weeks before, this is when you want to start thinking about talking to your contact at the school or the organization that you're photographing to understand where the event's going to be held, what venue it's at. Some of these are indoors, some of these are outdoors, so it's really good to know what type of situation you're about to get into. The start time, you don't really need like a end time, but you can probably roughly estimate that. Just really knowing all that information ahead of time is going to be ideal. Some schools have some must-have photos too, so this is ideal to kind of get at that 3-week mark. Maybe you could push it up to 2 weeks, but knowing what kind of photos the school might require is going to determine if you need extra photographers or maybe you need to alter what you're doing. So really just knowing all of that. The 2-week mark, this is where you can start communicating with your actual customers, so the parents of the graduates. You can send out marketing emails. This is where you can start sharing information with the school for them to post on their website, post on social media, really any kind of communication that you can get out to the parents. If it's a college graduation, then maybe you can push it out to the actual college graduates too, because they might be the ones purchasing over their parents, whereas high schools, most of the time, it's going to be the parents purchasing. And then we've got a week out. This is where you want to start reviewing the information that you have and actually confirm all of those final details with the school. Make sure nothing's changed. Make sure you know where you and your staff need to park for quick entrances, especially if you're unloading any equipment. So that's super important. The actual event day, this is where you're going to start placing your physical marketing materials. So if you printed out yard signs or posters or anything like that, make sure you get all of those up as soon as you arrive to the venue. Usually placing those around entrances and exits is ideal. And then just have like a quick little team meeting with your team, make sure everyone knows their positioning, timing of everything, and then really just kind of what they're focused on for the event. And then after event day is whenever you're going to focus on turning around your images. So getting everything ready to actually publish and then communicating that gallery out again to organization contact. And then if you have emails or anything like that, definitely pushing that out again to let people know images are online. And then the last thing we have on the checklist is just going to be after publishing. So after our standard marketing series is done, you can start thinking about doing some extra holiday promos, flash sales, or even setting an expiration date, just so that you're constantly remarketing the gallery as long as it is online.
Cool.
So we can head over to get a little bit more detailed on most of the things that are kind of on this checklist.
Awesome. So I want to talk about marketing, but first I have another question for you. So be honest. How much of your marketing is planned versus last minute? Are you fully planned? Do you have calendars on your calendars? Are you mostly planned? You're pretty organized. You try to stay consistent, or is it just pure chaos and you're just trying to send a flyer to the organization and panicking?
As much as I said as I love the checklist, I kind of love a pure chaos moment too.
Look at all these mostly planned people.
Well, hopefully after this webinar, everyone will be in that fully planned category.
For sure. Love the honesty. So how you market your job, that truly determines the success of the job. You could have beautiful photos, but if they don't know where to find them, then how are they going to buy them? So these next few sections, this is just kind of what we've seen works that works for marketing for graduations. So first thing I want to touch on is QR codes. QR codes, they are one of the easiest way to drive families directly to the gallery. Inside of PhotoDay, under gallery access, we offer both SMS and SMS QR codes and URL QR codes. The SMS one, that helps drive families by text. So when they scan it, it's going to pre-populate their messaging app. It'll put 90738, which is PhotoDay's phone number, and then the access code. So literally all they have to do is hit send. That's it. And they're opted in. We also have a URL link, and they can go there and click subscribe, and it'll notify them when photos are ready as well.
The SMS ones are personally my favorite. They're quick and easy to do. The studio I worked for, the pamphlet flyer or the program flyers that I would print out, or the little graphic to go in them, I would just put scan and click send as like the big header, and then the QR code, and then like little fine print under it is like, or text or visit the website or anything like that. So really pushing that, just scan it and click send is all you have to do. I think people will kind of pay attention to it more. It's like, oh, that's easy. Let me just do it real quick.
For sure. So where do these QR codes go? We see them placed on flyers. So having your photographers carry around some 3x5 flyers that they can pass out to parents before and during the ceremony. Maybe you're doing some posters. So you could do like a 20x30 poster to hang up. I would hang them up before, like at the school, saying like, get ready for picture day or get ready for graduation. And then you could also hang them up at the entrances of the event. And then like Justin said before, if you can get in the program that's going to be printed and given to every single person that's at that event, do it. That's money. Just write like a congratulations class of 2026, view your photos here, and see if they'll give you a space in the program. Same thing if they're in like an arena or a stadium and they have like a Jumbotron or a big screen, get that QR code up there. And then also you could do like a badge or like a lanyard. So you could do like your nice studio logo here, tell them to scan all the photos. And then these are great for candidates like after the fact. So if you have photographers after the ceremony walking around, you see groups of families getting together, go ahead and take a picture of them, have grandma scan it, auntie scan it, uncle scan it. All those opt-ins, that's more people to buy. So I definitely recommend doing something like that. Just a little lanyard for your photographers. And we have a bunch of different graphics that you can use. We will put that in the chat, but love the lanyard idea. Thanks.
I just shared that link in the chat.
Right.
Oh,
go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say that link has tons of different resources. It has some of these that you see here on the slide, those Photoshop templates. So those are super easy to grab and kind of customize for what you need.
And there's the step-by-step guide for commencements. So if you forget everything in this webinar that we say, we wrote it out for you.
Or you can rewatch it because we will record and send it out too.
All right. So the reason we're trying to get everybody to scan these QR codes or text that access code is because once they do that, like we said, they're locked in, they're subscribed. And so what happens after is you're going to publish the gallery, and we've set up an automated campaign that goes out for the first 30 days. So you'll publish, there will be one that goes out the first day, the 3rd, 5th, 7th, 14th, 30th. If they order within any of those times, it'll stop messaging them, so it's not going to keep bugging them. But that's why the name of the game before picture day and during picture day is opt-ins, because once they're locked in, we basically do the rest for you. On those auto SMS. Oh wait, I said that already. Justin, do you want to talk about the search options?
I can. So once you've done all your pre-marketing, got people opted in, now you're ready to actually publish the photos. So we can talk about how parents are going to actually find those photos. So our most ideal gallery type for graduations is going to be the public galleries. You could use your group galleries too, but I personally like the public gallery better just because you can have that personalized, easy to share direct URL to the gallery too. once they're logged in, they're going to have 3 different search options to find their photos. So most popular option is going to be face find. So parent's going to upload a photo of who they're looking for, and the whole gallery is going to narrow down to anything that that face is found in. So that could be their portraits, if they're found in a background photo of somebody else. If it's a candid shot, they're going to be found. It's going to be filtered down for the parent to view. The other option is going to be tags. So if you want to categorize your photos into like little folders, usually this is done if you want to categorize it by candids, crossing the stage, a portrait shot, all of those different things. That's really useful for parents that don't want to use FaceFind, or if they use FaceFind and think there's more photos that we might have missed, then they can actually categorize their search and scroll through that category manually. So that kind of gives a couple different search options there. And then the last option is going to be all photos. So that's going to be essentially they click it and they're going to see all the photos that you've added in that whole entire job. So if that's 1,000 photos, then the parent's going to scroll through 1,000 photos. So I usually like to suggest turning all photos off so that it kind of forces the parent to filter their photo selection in some way, whether it's FaceFind or tags, just so they don't accidentally get stuck scrolling through thousands of photos and don't know how to exit out of it. So that'll be ideal for those situations.
But if you do leave it on and they do find their kid and they click on a picture, they can click find similar and then it'll return all the photos of that person. Just so you know.
Yes, that is true. I always forget about that little button. So the next option we have is going to be with private galleries. So I would say private galleries isn't the most ideal situation for commencements, but if the school requires it or you have a unique situation where you do need a private gallery, then gallery lookup is going to be a great search option. So essentially you would sort all of your photos into different subject records. So everybody has their own unique access code. Because of that, it's not really easy to just text one access code, get into the gallery and start filtering the photos. They would need that super unique code or access into that gallery. So gallery lookup is going to allow the customers to actually enter their student first and last name, and then any third identifying information that you have in your uploaded subject data will return that gallery to that parent. So that one's super easy to use. So you can still share one link to really everybody or in like the printed program, but it's just going to have them fill out this little form. And if there's a match to your data, they're going to be able to see photos. So that is an option if you need it. Also kind of along the same lines of using subject data, if you do photograph the senior class, maybe for the yearbook headshots in the fall, then you can actually reuse those photos if you need to use subject data. So you would export all of your data and images from that gallery in the fall, and then you're going to use it inside of your gallery for the commencement. So you would upload the data and photos there. That's going to use those photos for reference photos for each subject. So essentially you don't have to use the Capture app to check everybody in at the event. The parent wouldn't need to upload a photo or anything like that. You've already done that just kind of using their yearbook headshots. I also want to mention that subject data is available in all gallery types now. So if you did have any unique situation where you needed to know who's who, but you still want to sell in like a public gallery, you can do that. So it's super easy to kind of use data if you need to. I also want to mention if you're using data in group and public galleries, if you have parent emails or they've opted into that specific gallery and their phone number or name or email is recognized linked to that subject data, whenever they access the gallery, it's going to auto filter for them. So even though it is open gallery and you have FaceFind as an option, it's going to essentially automatically run FaceFind for that customer as soon as they receive that email that photos are ready. So that's super handy if you ever do need to use subject data. So let's head into kind of talking about some different tips kind of throughout the day.
You guys still there? Let's ask them a question.
You love your questions.
What is your biggest challenge with commencements? Is it getting parents to view the galleries? Is it pricing packages? Is it the time it takes you to edit and upload all of those photos? Or you don't know because you're just getting started?
feel like turnaround time was really tough for me when I was doing it, just because I swear some of our galleries had like 15,000 images.
That's why you use our color correction, though.
Well, that wasn't a thing whenever I was an employee editing 15,000 images by myself.
That sounds not fun.
We
What
got
is-
some pricing and packages. That's the most.
Pricing and packages?
Yeah.
Nice. Well, we are gonna kind of dive into a few of these. So actually, pricing is first.
I know.
So
Perfect.
this is just kind of, and you guys can screenshot this, but this is just kind of a general idea of some very basic commencement pricing. We typically see more wallets sold around this time. Downloads are especially popular, and then specialty items that pertain to commencement. So some of the labs, they have like tassel frames or thank you cards through PhotoDay. So be sure to check and make sure you're not missing anything. And then also, depending on the type of photography you do, you might change the pricing a little bit. So maybe if you're doing more portrait style, maybe your pricing is a little bit higher than if you're just doing like more candids.
Yeah, definitely. So let me chat a little bit about Download All. That's kind of been talk of the town recently. So I definitely wanted to call it out on the webinar. It is a great tool to use or a great thing to add to price sheets, but with graduations, it may not be ideal for your situation. So where Download All is unique is that in these open gallery types like public and group, is Download All is per face. So in order to make that happen, all subjects that are in this open public or group or gallery need to have at least one photo of them that's just by themselves. So it can't be them crossing the stage, or like they need one photo by themselves. If you're using their portrait station and you're having the arena or the venue in the background, you have to make sure that the people in the background are blurred out so that their faces are not recognizable at all. So doing this, usually if you want to focus on using Download All, you want to shoot their portraits on like a background after they exit the stage, or just turn so that you're using a piece of the venue that doesn't have other people in it. The reason we do this is because Download All has to be by face so that people aren't downloading your entire gallery. We don't want to use the customer uploaded face find option either, because we don't know what kind of quality that they're going to upload. Usually it does fine returning the results, but if you use the professional photo provided by the photographer, that's going to ensure that they get all of their options that are available to them for downloading all their images. The other reason is if a customer figured out how to play the system, they could actually upload two people as one reference photo for the face find search. And then essentially, if we based it off their face find, and they would be able to download all of anybody in that reference photo. So it's kind of how Download All works. It works fine in a private gallery. So if you are in the situation of using private galleries, then Download All is just going to be per private access code. So if you do need to use that, then it's super easy to use in those situations. But definitely our suggested type is public galleries, and make sure that you have at least one photo of everybody by themselves.
Bryce, I hope that makes sense on why we can't just do it by favorite, because then they could favorite everything in the gallery and get it all. Justin, really quick, Bruce asked how many photographers created the 15,000 images.
That was easily done by probably 4.
That's a lot of pictures.
We had some people that like to just hold down the shutter and just make a whole movie.
Spray and pray.
We saw you could take every step across the stage and turn it into like a little GIF.
And I bet half of those were out of focus still.
No.
Wow.
No, I kept them all because you never know what kind of angle somebody likes for themselves. So I kept them all and let the parent choose.
Nice. Well, let's talk about driving urgency really quick. So on all of those marketing flyers and posters that you're posting, passing out, collecting opt-ins, you could be making money ahead of time with advance pay. So for those of you that don't know, advance pay, that's kind of our answer to prepay. we didn't think it made sense to sell packages beforehand, just because we didn't want to like lock them into the basic package, them see their photos, and then want something else. So this is just a credit that they can use towards photos. We've seen that doing an advance pay credit attached with an incentive. So doing like free shipping on your order, or 10% off of $40 or more, that seems to entice people to want to do the advance pay a little bit more. And this gets you money up front. And we found that customers that do purchase the advance pay, they spend around 27% higher than those who don't. And I always tell people, make your advance pay deal your best deal. So maybe do like a free shipping on $40 or more. And then for time sensitive offer, you still want to incentivize people to order early. So maybe they didn't do the advance pay, but you want to offer a gallery banner that's like free shipping on 75 or more for the first 2 weeks. So it's not as good as the advance pay offer, but it still incentivizes them to maybe get in before that 2-week deadline. And then you could also do a 48-hour social sharing download. This one's pretty easy to set up. For this one, you'll just add a social sharing to all of your packages for the first 48 hours. It's really easy to duplicate your price sheet, and then you'll be able to just flip it after 2 days. And we have some custom promos and support articles that can help you with that too. And I will pop that into the chat. All right, Justin, you want to talk about photography?
Of course. So just some tips for the photography end of things. Really knowing your plan before you and your team arrive. I know I touched on that a little bit in the checklist, but that is super important to know what kind of environment you're about to enter. That determines your staffing, that determines if you need lighting. Some venues may not even allow lighting, even though it's dark. So definitely just knowing what you're about to get into, you need to know as soon as possible so that you can plan accordingly. Yeah. Checking your equipment, definitely before the event, make sure your batteries are charged. That's obvious. Make sure you've got enough memory cards, especially if you're doing 15,000 images. Just making sure all of that is ready to go, just so that you can show up and be as prepared as possible. During the actual event, you really want to focus on those key moments that are going to sell. So really focusing on especially things that have the graduates' faces in them to get reactions, because Face Find is obviously going to find anything with their face in it. So the more you can focus on that, the more options parents are going to have. Posed portraits. So once, not only just them crossing the stage, grabbing their diploma, sometimes that's a candid type of situation. Some principals like to stop and pose for that portrait of them receiving the diploma from the principal or whoever's passing them out. So you want to make sure that you get those on the stage. But then after they've exited the stage, I always really like to suggest taking a posed portrait of them by themselves, just holding the diploma, smiling. They're super proud of what they just did. That's a really good moment after they've exited the stage. Just kind of get that one-on-one time with them quickly. Those sell really well, so highly suggest trying to staff that if you can get that in there. And then throughout the event, just having either you, yourself, or other photographers just kind of hanging out, taking candid photos throughout the entire ceremony. That's super ideal. So people entering, or the graduates entering the venue, waving at their families in the stands. That's always a fun moment. Just them sitting in the crowd, listening to their speakers. A lot of times you'll get different laughing moments, maybe even some crying moments if somebody's got a really good speech. But all of those are going to be found in the Face Find searches. So why not take them and give the parents all those different moments that they can really keep that memory in their purchases. And then post-event, or no, I wanted to touch, you did earlier, but I do want to remind about the family moments afterwards. Yes. I think a lot of people skip out on that because they're just tired and ready to go. But those are super important. As families are meeting up with their graduates after the event is over, head outside the venue space, wherever that is going to be. grab those just candid moments of them hugging, getting gifts, laughing, crying, whatever you want to do. Because a lot of times people might have family coming in from out of town, or maybe it's a distant cousin, or really anybody that they want to grab those moments with. And instead of waiting for them to just take them on a phone, you could actually go take them with your camera, provide them in the gallery, and now you're going to make a little bit more money because you've stuck around and took the time to capture those extra memories for those families afterwards.
We know all you want to do is pack up at that time, but spend the extra, just stay there for 30 minutes extra, and just walk around and just take some candids of all those families.
Definitely. And then after the event is over, the biggest thing is going to be a quick turnaround time. So you really want to turn around this gallery as quickly as possible while the excitement and the emotion is still fresh for your customers. So if it's still fresh in their mind, they're going to purchase more quickly. So definitely using all your available tools to get that turned around as quickly as possible. As far as like culling all of those different images, I would honestly just focus on culling out any absolutely unusable images. So if a flash didn't go off, or you misfired or something and the image is completely dark, or maybe you're totally out of focus, definitely delete those. But if you just have like a bunch of duplicates, or you are somebody that holds the shutter and does 15,000 images, upload them all, because it's going to be found in a face find search, and let the parent purchase from whatever they want. I wouldn't spend a lot of time pulling out all of those different situations. And then using AI tools, especially in 2026, is going to be huge for turning around these with nice quality, nice colors, exposure, all that stuff. I personally use AI editing tools for my portrait sessions that I do, and it's a super helpful thing to turn around galleries quickly. Some of the AI tools let you kind of program your own editing profile, so it does edit like you do. But I mean, really, for these graduation ceremonies, you don't need like a super detailed edit. You just need proper color, proper exposure, publish it. And then you touched on having that color correction post-processing. So we do have that inside of PhotoDay if you want to use it. That is 10 cents per image, so it's easy to color correct. It'll do some light exposure corrections, but nothing major. So if you do need major edits there, you want to make sure you handle that before uploading. But yeah, that's going to be key to being successful with these. And then I did touch on tags earlier, so I won't go into super detail about it, but just kind of having a tagging structure so that parents can sort by a category if they don't want to upload a face.
Awesome.
And then talking about uploading.
Yeah, so just like Justin said, and I just want to reiterate how important this part is. When the photos are ready, do not sit on them. Upload fast, because speed matters. You want them while they're still excited about the day. If you're shooting a bunch of candids and you don't feel like editing, like I've said, do the post-processing. Even just like Lightroom autocorrect, like these are just candids. Another thing that you want to watch out for, though, is your crop if you can. So for portraits, I mainly shoot 2x3. For anything volume, I highly recommend shooting 4x5 in the camera if possible. If you can't do it in camera, then you can always crop your images post-production. But if they're already cropped in camera, then that's just one less thing that you have to do, and you'll be able to just upload faster to PhotoDay. But we've just seen that 4x5 ratio, that seems to minimize cropping errors by the customer for the most part.
Yeah, they don't want to spend time adjusting pictures. They just want to click a photo, check out, and be done.
They preview it 3 different times, but someone will still chop off a head.
Yeah. Let's chat about another post-processing service that we have, which is newer since last graduation season. So we do offer black and white post-processing now. That is a free service. So if you do want to use it, totally free to double your entire inventory of photos in the job. I will say there's a couple little situations that you want to keep in mind if you do decide to use it, and that would be like the tagging structure. So if you are uploading, drag and dropping folders to create your tagging structure in the job, the post-processing services section is not going to hold a folder structure or the folder names. So I would suggest dragging each folder in as like its own little post-processing job. And then once those are done, transfer that to the job, select all images, tag it what you need, and then repeat that. So we have in the photos section a little filter for untagged images. So whenever you go to move your second folder in, just filter it to the untagged. Again, select all, tag it to what you need, and then it's a pretty quick process. And then something that's even quicker, but I know a lot of people don't use it. I know I don't, but Lightroom keywords. If you do have Lightroom keywords in your metadata, then that will automatically hold and create the tags for you. So if you are uploading to post-processing, then it would hold that keyword and automatically tag any of those color and or black and white photos to the same tag. So keep that in mind if you do decide to use black and whites or even color correction. Just make sure that you understand that, gotta watch that tagging structure. And then another hot topic that has been going on. You're muted, Austin.
That's love that.
I was like, oh no, our first technical difficulty.
No, it's just me. Yeah, how many of you have lost sleep over parents screenshotting your galleries? You're not alone. We definitely hear your concerns, and our team has research we've developed, and we are very excited to announce the first of many image protection measures to prevent screenshots. So we just introduced auto blur. So if a customer tries to screenshot on a desktop, auto blur is going to blur the entire gallery. If that doesn't deter them, we came up with info overlay. So it'll put the customer's first name, last name, email, and phone number on the actual image. And that's just kind of to deter them. I don't know if you guys have seen the Facebook watermark remover groups and stuff, but it's hopefully to deter them so that way, like, they don't want 1,000 calls or daily emails from like cat facts or something. So it kind of keeps them from posting in there with their information on it. I thought that one was super smart. But we are not done. Stay tuned, because there's also some stuff coming that we're actively working on to block screenshots on mobile. So you will find out more about that later.
Yeah, that one's going to be exciting. Also didn't know catfax was a thing until a recent Facebook post with somebody's phone number. I thought that was really funny.
Yep, you can set someone up for daily cat facts.
And please don't do that to me. So next thing is just resources. I know we talked a lot about, different resources throughout this. So all of those are kind of available to you. Whenever you're logged into your account, in the top right corner is a resources section. So that's going to take you to really all the resources that we've mentioned throughout this webinar. We do have step-by-step articles. So if you are somebody that just needs to read the step-by-step, we have those. We've got video walkthroughs, we've got webinars, blog posts. We've got it all. So definitely heading to the resource section. That's going to be ideal for helping you in any situation, especially if you're up late at night working and we are not available outside of work hours. The other great place for resources is going to be our Facebook user group. So if you want to just ask questions, brainstorm, bounce ideas back and forth with other photographers that are using the platform, that's a great place to post there, comment back and forth to people. You can also just scroll the group and get a lot of great ideas from it too. So that's always super helpful. And then, so we are a true partnership for you. We only make money whenever you make money. So that we're really
make money.
Yeah, we're really incentivized to help make sure you're successful. So any job that you do on our platform, if you need help, just ask. We're here for you. We have a chat bubble in your account. So in the bottom right corner is an orange live chat bubble. That's a whole live chat team. They're not robots. We're here to help. So definitely ask questions. If you do a job, you feel like something didn't go well, we want to know why. Because if you didn't do well, we didn't do well. So definitely ask us anything.
Or if you're just setting your job up for the first time and you just want us to just double check and just run through it with you, by all means, schedule a call with us.
Yeah, we love it. We love to brainstorm. But yeah, our cost is just going to be 10% transaction fee on the order total. That's it for the photo day part of it. And then we have a 2.9% credit card processing fee plus 30 cents per transaction, and that's going to be through Stripe. And then, of course, we don't have any lab bills or contracts or minimum orders, anything like that. As each order is placed, we hold out all the fees that need to be distributed out, and then everyone gets paid as soon as orders are placed, and then you don't have to worry about anything after that, including sales tax. We will handle that for you, which is awesome.
We only
So
had
that's
one
re-
question. Justin, did you want to talk about aspect ratio really quick? And just
I
with the
can.
2x3?
Yeah. So yeah, our recommended aspect ratio is cropping to like 4:5. Just because the 4:5 ratio, when uploading to galleries and customers are ordering, they're going to be able to by default order, let's say a 5:7, and it's only going to cut off very minimal on like the left and right sides, and it's not going to get close to like a head or feet or anything like that. Especially if you're shooting full body.
Yeah, if you have 2x3 crop and then they're putting it into like an 8x10, it's going to chop the top and the bottom, and your image is going to try to center it automatically. So when it does that, sometimes it might chop the head. And if the customer doesn't go back and try to pull it down or adjust it, then it's just going to be cropped. So we've just found that 4:5 ratio, it just kind of crops the edges for like 5:7s, 3:5s, wallets a little bit. So as long as you stay within the margins, you should be good.
Yeah, and I know some people think it takes forever to crop to 4:5 ratio. I mean, there's some auto cropping systems out there that can help with that. If you don't want to spend the time doing it, you can upload 2:3 ratio. Just make sure that you're leaving plenty of space on top and bottom, just so that those other products can be ordered. Because customers honestly just want to click a photo and purchase it. They don't want to have to adjust cropping. They don't want to mess around. They just want to order it. So making sure that all of your default crops work across majority of your products that you're offering is going to be ideal for not having to deal with any customer service questions, either before or after they place their order or maybe even receive their order.
Awesome. I don't see any more questions. Hopefully you guys learned something today.
Awesome.
Yeah, well, thanks for coming.
I know, I guess that's it. Maybe we were so good that nobody had questions.
Right.
Or we were so bad that we will not be on another webinar.
Let us know. Also, if there's anything that you want to see in webinars, feel free to put it in the chat. Our marketing team's in here. So if there's something that you want to go over, they'll see it. And we can set up another webinar.
We did have Chris says question, new user. Wondering how to edit contents of the package. So for packages on a price sheet, let me go into my visual brain here. Whenever you click on, or maybe you're just starting new. So if you click add new package, you'll give it your title, give it your description. For those descriptions, we really suggest adding like how much of a discount they're getting by purchasing that package. I know a lot of people like to put the description of like what's in the package, but with some recent updates that we've had, we actually include that in the package thumbnail now. So if you add that in the description, you're kind of duplicating that. So I would keep that in mind now. Definitely focus on what savings you're getting. And then once you click next, you're going to be on the screen to actually start choosing your products. So then you'll scroll through on the top left side what products you want to add. You'll click on it, click add to package, and then you just continue to do that for whatever products or however many products you want in there. There's also a little drop down to select the catalog. So if you want to add digitals or specialty items, then you can add those as well. And then on the right side, it's going to start totaling your lab cost for that specific package and then have the section for you to set your retail pricing. So just as you're adding products there, you'll be able to kind of monitor your pricing, how much it's going to cost from the lab so that you know how much you should charge for it. And then, of course, you can delete, add, whatever you need to as you're customizing that.
And once you make a sheet, message us in the bubble. We can always do a review and just kind of look everything over for you.
Yeah. Another thing to mention on packages is each line item is going to be its own image. So if you want to offer 2 5x7s in a package, you can set it to be a quantity of 2. So essentially a pack of 2. That's going to be the same image for 2 5x7s. If you add 5x7 2 times, so it's on 2 different line items, that's going to be 2 different images for each of those.
He said I was just
super
missing
important
at the bottom. That's all.
Oh, well, that was easy. We got a longer explanation.
Alrighty, guys. Well, thank you for coming. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to the bubble. We are more than happy to answer them, and we will see you next time.
Hopefully we'll see people at conferences and stuff throughout the year.
Yeah. See ya.
Bye.